Hey everybody, and welcome to the Game Addicts podcast. I'm your host Brando, and I'm joined with this podcast player 2, Mike.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going good. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Just okay.
I'm just okay.
Okay.
Today we are going to talk about what happened on Monday. It was, of course, in 7 days, so we have some Mass Effect stuff to talk about. A pretty exciting day, although not as much as I thought. However, apparently we're going to be getting like in 7 month, because there's going to be more stuff coming out throughout the length of the month, and then there's going to be gameplay at the Game Awards,
yes.
or Game Awards or something like that. I'm probably going to be streaming. But anyway, before we get into that, that's going to be like the last thing that we really talk about. Kind of build it up, build the show up, make you guys stick around longer. You know, it's kind of like a clever little tactic where we have a bunch of filler.
Right.
Yeah, so we can actually have a show. Have you had any pickups lately?
Just Skyrim, of course.
Just Skyrim?
Yes.
Of course, you bought Skyrim and you got it on the PS4?
Yes.
And so how is it?
It's fantastic. To be honest, I really didn't think it was... Like, I saw the pictures through the trailer and stuff, or the teaser, and it looked really good, and I didn't think it was going to look that good, and it looks phenomenal. There still has some of the flat texture. They just basically up-resed it. They didn't, redesign it. They just up-resed it. So, it looks beautiful. It plays the same, and we have mods. I like mods. They make it a lot more interesting.
Now, the PS4 has less mods than the Xbox One?
I believe, now don't quote me on this, but I think there's only 30 or 40 available for the PlayStation. I think there's 90 plus for the Xbox, because I believe the Xbox struck the deal sooner, and they were working more on it to get the mods up and available.
So, because I've heard stuff about how Sony they are only allowing certain kinds of mods, or certain, they don't want anything that's going to
they don't have anything that will change the actual game. Everything has to be part of the vanilla program.
Okay.
So that you can't have Hulk Hogan as the dragons.
The Macho Man dragons.
Yeah, the Macho Man
that
dragons.
was awesome. That I've seen. I haven't really read into it, but do they do the Thomas the Tank Engine dragons too?
I think they did. I think that one might actually be up. So I don't know for sure exactly what PlayStation did, but I know that we're not playing with very many. Some of the mods we're playing with are just really stupid ones, like more lampposts on the walking paths, which really adds more character to the game, because you're gonna walk down a path. They're gonna have some light on it. In the old game, there's no light, but that, and then all the signs, the actual signs actually have pointing in the proper direction. Solitude this way, blah blah blah. Dovahkiin Keep, and then I believe we got the upscale graphics for the magic. So when you cast a magic, it will let the light dynamic actually follows the ball of fire and not just flash. It actually it actually lights up the room as it casts through. But small stuff like that. It's really nothing oh man, I got all these 800 extra spells that I'm never gonna use. It's just stuff to make it prettier and play better for us. And we really like it. Obviously, Joanna loves it.
Yeah, but I just saw where Fallout 4 is getting it by the end of this month.
Yes.
So that'll be something to look at as well. Of course, I have it on the Xbox One, and I haven't even turned the game on since last January, February.
See, I'll probably attempt to play a little bit once I get the PS Pro. I always want to call it PS4K.
Yeah. That's what we referred to it for so long when we just talked about it.
It's so much catchier.
Yeah, PS4 Pro. That comes out, is that next week?
That is...
Or is it 2 weeks?
I believe it's 2 weeks, because it comes out right before...
Is it right before Thanksgiving?
Right before Thanksgiving, and I believe it comes out a couple of days before Final Fantasy.
Okay.
In which I have that pre-ordered for
So, okay, because I remember you telling me that you might have to cancel that, so you're not going to cancel that? You're going to...
I really don't want to cancel it, because that... you know how I am with my anime and stuff. I really like that. I really want to have the complete version of the anime when I get it.
So, in other words, you're just going to make it work.
Yeah, I will definitely make it work.
Yeah, that's cool. Definitely some stuff because I've been scaling back on newer games that I buy as well, and I've had to make some decisions, and like I have the collector's edition for Persona 5 pre-ordered, but I might scale that back down.
Really?
It's logistics. I mean, yes, it's cool to have all that stuff. I do enjoy having collector's editions. I mean, I have quite a few of them in my collection.
Right.
But I don't have really a whole lot of space.
Yeah, you are running out of space.
So it's like, what do I want? Do I want to spend? I believe the collector's edition for Persona 5 is $90.
Right.
So do I want to spend my money there? Now that game's coming out 1 month before the supposed release date of Mass Effect Andromeda.
And yeah, that's where my Mass Effect every time.
It's going to be the Mass Effect that's going to get that. So for me, as far as pickups go, I've only had one, and it's for the PSP, and it is SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, a 10-year-old wrestling game. I bought it for one reason: GM mode. Me and Rob 10 years ago, actually 11 years ago, that came out in 05 because it's 06 because they always do the year.
Yep.
Yeah, So I bought that game on the PS2 in the fall of 05. Probably came out in late October, November. And then that fall winter where we were working slowed down to the point of where we had we worked Monday through Wednesday, and we had Thursday and Friday off every week.
Yeah.
For a while. And he would just come over Thursday or Friday, maybe both. Chill out, drink energy drinks, eat pizza, food, and we would just play 2-player GM mode and try to outdo each other, and we would just hang out. And I have a lot of fun memories of that. And I didn't know how that game would translate onto the PSP. I never looked at it. I'm like, why do I want that on the PSP? I got it on the PS2. But now I'm like, I can play GM mode on the car.
Yep. On the go.
On the go. And honestly, that game is the entire full game, except for two things I've noticed. The graphics take a step down, a significant step down. And then there's no ringside announcing, or as far as during the matches, there's no announcing. It just plays the soundtrack, which I'm okay with because the announcing kind of gets annoying after a while.
Yeah, and it's a lot of repeats.
And the load times are a little bit long. Now, the PSP version does have an exclusive character, Jake the Snake Roberts, which you can unlock in the PS2 version by linking up your PSP to your PS2.
Right.
And now you can also transfer creative wrestlers from one to the other that way too.
Huh.
And I actually linked mine up to my PS2 and found out I don't have my save data anymore.
Oh no!
I know, I got nothing. It's on the PS3, but I can't find. There's not a way to get it off because when the PS3s first came out, me and Rob bought the little memory card reader for you to be able to put your PS2 memory on there because it was backwards compatible and a full PS2 in the damn PS3.
Right.
And that's one reason why it was like $500, $600. So it's on there, so I can look at it and go, "Hi, old data, you're there. I can't play you because now I have a Slim and I can't play PS2 games." So
I do have one pickup though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Retron 5.
Oh, the Retron 5. Yes.
That's what we were supposed to talk about, and we never did.
We on the other show we were going to talk about it, and
right.
then we ended up because of the Switch.
Yep.
Focused on that. Yeah, so you got the Retron 5, and I actually came over and played it for a little bit too. But before I say what I have to say about it, what you've had it for now over a month.
Right.
So how often have you been playing it, and or what are your thoughts about it?
Well, I really haven't been playing it too much because Fallout.
Fallout and Skyrim. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Skyrim's just been recent, but Fallout. Once I got my hands on Fallout, it was pretty much over.
I told you last year.
I know, but. And they are coming out, supposedly, with the 4K version.
Yes, but I don't know why you didn't get it a year ago.
Well, I didn't really know what to think about it.
You could have came over to my house and tried it for yourself.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, I didn't know. Because I played the other one. Was it Vegas? Las Vegas?
New Vegas.
New Vegas, that one right there. And, I tried it out, and I hated it. And I was like, man, I don't like any of this. So I just left it alone.
Well, it does take some getting used to, but that new one, it's completely different.
It is. It is very much different. I might go back and play the old ones. I don't know.
Well, if you want to. But what did you think about the Retron 5?
The Retron 5, I like it a lot. I like what it does. I like the fact that I can have my HDMI hookup because I just got the 4K TV.
Oh yeah.
And all the reviews said it will work with those, with the old consoles and blah 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 blah. Yes, with the digital output, not the analog output. So any of the analog sound will not work with. So I had to get a Retron 5 to be able to play all my old games because I got rid of the TV. So I really didn't have a choice. And we talked about which system to get. There are a couple other options, but the Retron 5 offers a more what am I looking for? A more original feel to the old games because you can plug them in and you can plug in all the old controllers and you can play it that way. And so far, I really like it. I really like the fact that a lot of my games, like Super Mario, why did I
RPG?
Yeah, RPG. The battery's dead.
I remember you saying that.
So I lost all my save data. Now I just pop in a micro SD card and we're good to go.
Save state.
Yes. So I really like it. A couple of the niches on it, like stuff I really don't like. The controller, which nobody likes the controller.
I didn't like the controller.
Horrible. But I also don't like the fact that the console grips the
cartridges.
The cartridges so tight.
Like the ROM, like the circuit boards and
even the circuit boards and the plastic. Like
it does with
everything grips it. So like when you go to pull it out, you almost have to pull the whole console out. Hold down on that plastic because the plastic, the cover over the top of it, it's very flexible. So you have to really be careful and shimmy it out. So there's a high possibility that you could pull something out and break it, which scares me. But I'm really careful with my consoles, as you know.
I know when that thing came out, there was some people talking about how they had some NES problems where a couple of their NES games were ruined because it just gripped it so hard that when they pulled it out, it damaged the contacts on the cartridges themselves. Now, I will say that I played it, and it seems to work just fine. The only thing that I noticed is that I brought a Game Boy Advance game. I brought Pokemon and put that in there, and one of us moved, and it just said, hey, there's no game inserted.
Right. Yeah. With the cartridges, now, when I tried Turtles, it was real finicky. It did not want to go in. Like, I would put it in, it would load it, but it wouldn't tell me what game it was. And that's how you know that it is loaded properly, is it'll say, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Pokemon Green, or Sapphire. That's the one you brought over. Or Pokemon Leaf Green. And it'll say what the actual game is. If it doesn't, that means that it didn't load it properly, so you got to pull it out, redo it again. I had a lot of problems with that NES game.
Okay, so it's Turtles on NES that you had that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? It's what I kind of see the Retron 5, and unfortunately, they did increase the price after they originally said what the price was going to be. And I think it was supposed to only be like $100, and they raised it like $40, and then they raised it again.
Right.
Like how much you spent? $160 on it?
I bought it for $160. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, to me, it's not a devil that you have to have. It's all about your setup, because you could have gone another route for your old games, but that could have been more expensive.
Yes, so, I mean, it was actually going to
if you're on a budget, it's a good way to go, and it's going to handle a lot of your retro stuff from NES, SNES, Genesis, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and then also Famicom, Super Famicom, Mega Drive. And if you have a power-based converter,
yep,
you can play Sega Master System games on there. They actually sell on Stone Age Gamer. They have a what's called a mini power-based converter. It just looks like a Sega Genesis Game Shark.
Right.
And you plug it in, and you plug your Master System games on top of that, and it'll play those perfectly.
Right.
But however, the Sega Master System games that have the flash cards, or like the Hue cards,
yeah,
those won't work.
But didn't they have a game that you could put the flash card in and then put it on top of it? So they have like an empty cart that's available for the flash drive.
Do they have that for the Hue card?
I thought that they did.
I don't know if they have that for Mega Drive.
We'll research and comment later.
But speaking of, we can just transition directly into the news, because we were talking about Sega. There's a new Sega Mega Drive coming out in Brazil. Basically, due to huge demand, manufacturer Tectoy it's going to be they're going to release a fully licensed version of the Mega Drive, and of course it's called the Genesis here. But it says reportedly the Mega Drive continues to sell around 150,000 units a year.
What?
In Brazil, equivalent to the number of PS4 sold, due to Sega definitely winning the Sega Nintendo console war in that country. The Master System is also really big in Brazil as well.
That's really surprising. Really,
their new version of the console will cost about $120 US and come pre-installed with 22 games, including Altered Beast, Golden Axe, Sonic 3. And the fully compatible with the original cartridges. It will not support HDMI playback because it uses the console's original AV cables.
So I couldn't use it even if I got it.
No, but it's so basically it is like they're taking that original system, saying we're gonna make brand new ones for people who want them. And there's going to be games built in, and you can use all your old games. Like, this is good and bad, because I kind of feel like it should have had HDMI. They should have went that extra step and did the conversion to HDMI. Because if this was HDMI, it would be, like, amazing.
Yes, it would. I mean, I would probably go out and get one. Just for the fact of what it is, I mean.
It would put it on par. It definitely would put it on par with the NES Classic system, which also is coming out this year, which I also have a news story for, because there is a adapter that lets you use your original controllers with it.
Nice.
Now, like, the new controller definitely feels like the old controller. Everything I've heard about it is like it has the same exact quality and feel, and nobody can figure out how they did it.
Let's not tell anybody.
Yeah.
We'll let them stay that way.
This is adapters made by Hyperkin, which also made the Retron 5.
Yes.
It plugs into the system, and it's basically the Wiimote nunchuck connector and then it has a little wire to a box that has the original pin connector for the old controllers. So this is for, like, if anybody gets this, and it comes with, I think it comes with 2 controllers, but I think it might only come with 1. I can't
remember.
But if you need another controller, that's a way to do it. How much does this thing cost? $8.
Wow.
Wait, hold on. No, that's the extension cable. $10. Okay, that's not bad. But then again, like, they've said that the extra NES controllers for this console are going to cost $10.
Well, why would you get a extender then? If they had the same feel.
I guess it's for people who are like, I can tell a difference.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, good for you. Of course, the NES Classic Edition, you're coming out with 30 games on it. Releases November 11th. So as we record this on the 9th, it is on Friday.
Nice.
And I believe it's going to be $60, so roughly $2 a game.
I'm really upset, though, that they don't have, like, a way to play. I understand what it is. It's basically like, if you haven't had this before, you can have it now. But I would really like to see them have a way for us to either have a website where we could download stuff on an SD card. I mean, I know that Nintendo's never going to do this, but to where we could put other games on there, because we're limited to the 50.
30.
30. I'm sorry, 30. So you only get those 30 classics.
Yeah, and that's probably where they're going to have NES Classic 2. Yeah. Just kind of like the Atari flashbacks. This is considered it's a throwback item, and it's coming out just in time for the holiday season. I am predicting this is going to be a big seller for holiday, because people. Because
how much is the price on it?
I believe it's $60.
You know, say if it's $60, then yeah, I could see a lot of people.
I think it's going to be a big seller, because I think it's going to have quite the market. It's going to have older people that are going to want it for Christmas. They're going to have younger kids. Oh, old school gaming, old school gaming is kind of the thing, sort of. Like some of the younger kids are kind of getting into it a little bit. Especially, it's like, oh, let's take a break from playing Call of Duty to play this.
A lot of it's a limit of games that are coming out for the newer consoles. It bridges the gap.
Yeah, but this has like a lot of like really cool. What's that?
Dishonored 2 First Impressions.
First Impressions.
I couldn't get that one. I just hang my head in shame.
You had to skip that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe you can pick it up later.
I will.
There's always that.
Do what I did with Fallout, where like, was it 4 months later?
Hopefully, you don't wait 4 months, or actually 4 months, dude. Fallout, you waited like almost an entire year. That game came out like in November last year. That like I was playing that game like before I went to like day shift.
Yeah, Yeah, but I picked it up like
September.
I want to say August. I picked it up, but I just couldn't play it very much because us and our crazy work schedule.
Yeah, right. And then how we've really slowed down.
Yeah.
Hey, there's all the time now.
Yes.
You know what? We're just gonna go to Call of Duty. We're gonna skip that and go to Call of Duty. So the new Call of Duty is out, Infinite Warfare plus Modern Warfare, somewhat. And the only thing I want to talk about here is what the review that IGN gave Infinite Warfare, because to me it stands out.
Really?
I skipped it. Where is it? Where is it? Hey, no.
Where did it go?
I don't know. It's not. Oh wait, page 4.
I was gonna say page 4.
There's 4 pages because they like reviewed this thing as they played it. Review in progress, folks. Oh no!
What are you doing?
Ads. This is on air problems with the internet. Come on. The verdict is 7.7.
Huh.
Now.
That's one of the lower ones.
Yeah, it's not a bad rating. Okay. It's not a bad rating. But it's definitely lower than what you come to expect from a Call of Duty.
Well, a lot of it is despite the what is it? The shift to interplanetary combat.
Yeah, Infinite Warfare is generally fun, but inessential shooter. Basically, they're saying kind of like been here, done that. Now, there's a review for Modern Warfare Remastered. 8.5.
Well, yeah, everybody wanted it.
Well, I mean, what they say is that it brings a significant graphical upgrade to a classic shooter, and then one of the things here is that Modern Warfare is no longer a modern, though the combat in some ways and action story, its foundations are ageless. Its level design, lack of campaign progression reveal its true age, but it's not outdated. It's classic. Basically, they're saying that this isn't a modern day shooter, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, the reason I just kind of found that it was interesting with Battlefield 1 kind of getting the one up this year. No pun intended.
Yeah.
I don't know what they gave Battlefield 1.
We can always find out.
Well, let's click on reviews and we'll find out right here, right now. It's got to be right here near the top. It came out not too long ago. That's Call of Duty, Hitman, Skyrim, which they gave an 8. Titanfall 2, they gave a 9.
I saw gameplay of it. It looks really good, but I don't have the time for a shooter like that.
Yeah, I hear you.
To be good at it, you gotta invest a lot of time in it.
Battlefield 1, a 9.
Yeah.
They gave it a 9. So it scored better than both of the Call of Duties, which, hats off. Call of Duty went one way, DICE, Battlefield, they went another way. They kind of went more old school. And they are 2 completely different shooter styles.
They went old school, but they brought in a lot of the stuff with Battlefield. I mean, you've never had cavalry before, where you're running through, hacking and slashing people apart. I mean, that's awesome. Yeah, dude, they definitely brought something new while bringing it back to kind of like the older feel. Because, right. I mean, I remember back when the shooters were started coming out, they were all World War II shooters. Yep. So it's like they've gone away from that, and now, they pull back a little bit. Let's get away from the big flashy style, and let's make it nitty gritty again, which is kind of cool to me. This other one might interest you. Final Fantasy 15 MMO mobile game. Huh. Yeah. So honestly, I didn't even pre-read this, so I don't even know what's going on with this. It is a mobile game set in the 15 world, made by. Oh, I already know what it is. Machine Zones Technology. It's inside. It's a mini game inside the game that you're going to be able to play on your phone outside of it. So it doesn't have an official title. No word on when it's going to launch. So I just kind of saw this and went I expect you to go, when I first said it, for you to go, well, shit. That's what I expect you to say. The well shit for me is the multiplayer, especially for us, because if we have time and it's good, if it's what we think it is, where it'll be in one area we get to play together, or if it says, hey, look, you're going to be able to play together everywhere in the world. You know, you'll be able to do quests together. You'll be able to basically do everything in the game together, but you have to have the download.
I don't know, man. From what I understand, like the multiplayer mode is going to be just kind of a set DLC set in this world, where like in the main gameplay it's not going to be multiplayer, but in that set DLC we'll be able to play through that story together.
Well, that'd be fun, but that'd be fun. But I feel like this might be one of those creaking the door a little bit, you know, putting your foot in the water, being like, is it gonna? How are we gonna do this? And if everybody's like, oh, this is amazing, it's gonna be Final Fantasy VII, able to play 3 players at one time.
Oh gosh, that'd be havoc.
Or would it?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, here's the thing. Would it be fun to play? Probably yes. But when it comes to story mode, it's like I like to enjoy my story. Like, I'm a very single player oriented guy.
Right.
And so it's like, I want to be able to be like, you know, I'm gonna put my game down for 10 minutes.
Well, I mean, you could. This is like, you don't have to play the whole game from the beginning, from the first time you play through, which I know you're never going to play with anybody your first playthrough.
Oh, hell no.
But
get away from me.
It's the second or third playthrough. It would be cool to just play it through together. You know, we go through each story, and then when you're like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. Okay. You know, whatever.
Well, see, gaming in the living room with Wyatt, with my kid, has changed significantly. I haven't played gaming back here in the game room for probably 2-3 months. I played through almost all of Mass Effect 2 back here. I played through Mass Effect 1 mainly in the living room, and then Mass Effect 2 out here, and then I moved Mass Effect 3 back out there because I was getting complaints that I was spending too much time back here. And then that was kind of rough. I played through South Park out there. That wasn't rough at all. That was like that. So that's easy to pause. I mean, it's turn-based. So, and then now I'm playing the wrestling game, and that's a game I can literally just set down and then come back to it a half hour later, and it's no
the
big deal.
mode that you're playing through the creation mode.
I'm doing all the creative stuff, and working on that. But the next Mass Effect, Andromeda, so in 7 day was Monday. We got it. Orientation trailer for the initiative program. We got a story-based trailer where it
kind of says what happens.
I mean, it sets it up, but basically, you know, this is on track to release in the spring, in March, hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. The way that they're we didn't get a hard date.
Hard date.
Which I don't know if that's a sign of a possible delay or if they're just waiting until the Game Awards to give the hard date. Because
probably the Game Awards.
The way that they did this, okay, so we got the trailers, and then we got some info from the trailers, and then we had Game Informer articles that revealed the rest of the information. So what I was gonna have to go and look and write all these out, all these talking points. But while I was just getting some articles from IGN, they have 37 new things that we know from the new Mass Effect. So we're just going to read these and kind of talk about them as we go. The crew has to travel 600 years to get to the Andromeda Galaxy.
True.
And I mean, and we sort of knew that with that little leak teaser trailer like a week prior to this.
Right.
So, and you know, and they say it's a one-way trip, which is, well, of course, we're not going to be traveling to and fro the Milky Way galaxy to the Andromeda Galaxy. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to say this in here, but we do now know that the time frame.
Right.
The year is 2185. That is during the events of Mass Effect 2, after the Reaper Geth invasion, or of the incursion at the Citadel. So it is very well likely that no one involved with this program knows a damn thing about the Reapers.
Right.
Because Shepard knew about the Reapers, and the Council knows about the Reapers. High-ranking people know about the Reapers. It is not necessarily like Boogeyman.
And Cerberus.
Cerberus knows about the Reapers.
Obviously.
And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Cerberus has some involvement in this.
I would say they would. It's safe to assume.
I don't know if they I can definitely just see them like having like a sleeper agent, and he's just kind of along for the ride, and you think he's somebody, but he turns out he's actually just there on behalf of Cerberus to be like a volunteer to go and to try and send back info probably. There are a total of 5 ships making the journey. The journey, 4 of the 5 are dedicated to transporting one of 4 species: human, Turian, Solarian, or Asari. And then they have what's the base ship called the Nexus, which is like housing the leader of the program and stuff like that. Each of the 4 species have a designated pathfinder to lead their exploration. The lead ship in the Andromeda Initiative is called the Nexus. I already said that. The Andromeda Initiative is a multi-species effort, but was founded by human, I believe her name is Jan Garson.
Yes.
I think that's how you say it. The Andromeda Initiative departs for missions during the events of Mass Effect 2 before Mass Effect 3. There are civilian encounters to act as colonists on this mission, as well as trained soldiers. So now we're going into the story, and we have found out about the Ryder family. Alec Ryder, the Ryder twins' father, designated Pathfinder for the Hyperion, that's the human arc, and is for some reason unable to lead the Hyperion as the Pathfinder, as his responsibilities are transferred to your character. And you pick male or female, and it decides which Ryder twin you play as, either Scott or Sarah. And you choose to play, like both of them are part of the story, so the other one that you don't choose to play as will still be involved in the story and has some sort of involvement. There are multiple shots in the trailer where you do see both of them. So
now, what do you think? Do you think that they'll have facial? You could do all of your customization for both characters, kind of like Fallout. And then those two would affect your father, quote unquote.
Well, guess what? We're going to get to that because you can customize all 3.
I figured. I already read it.
You can completely customize all 3. Regardless of which... okay, I already read that part. Liam is a human squad mate, an ex-cop. I'm not sure if he's an actual cop or ex-CSEC for Citadel Security. He's a part of the Pathfinder squad. PB is an Asari in your squad. It has been confirmed that is her nickname.
Right.
So that's not her real name. Apparently she's that one Asari that we've already seen with like the black stripe across her eye. Kind of animated, not more like other Asaris that we've seen that are more reserved. She's a little bit more like eccentric.
More like she was raised by humans.
It could have been.
Spent all of her time with humans.
The first new intelligent Andromeda species we know about are the Ket, and they served more as an antagonistic role in the cinematic trailer. And as far as from what Game Informer has played of the game, they were like the enemy that they fought.
Well, I have a thought on that. In the trailer, we're skipping ahead here, but I believe that they are now because we're the aliens, quote unquote, and we're invading their system, and they're the most advanced species, or the first advanced species that we make contact with, until we find a common enemy, which I believe is what's going to happen. That's what I would say that they would do, because we saw that mechanical machine that almost looked Reaper-like, but not.
Yeah.
Jumping ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No. You're fine. You will have new squad mates from the new Andromeda species that you encounter. So, like, we won't just have the ones we already know. We're going to meet brand new species that aren't the Ket.
That will be neat.
And then we'll get to... And
maybe they're the bullies.
So, the remnants that we saw in the PlayStation meeting back in September are not related to the Reapers. Reapers are a Milky Way threat, the creative director, Mac Walters, has said. So, in other words, you can say that, as far as we know now,
there are no Reapers.
There are no Reapers. And this
in that system.
In the Andromeda system. So, this is taking the Mass Effect universe and completely putting it in a new environment and situation.
Yeah.
And not tying it in any way to what has already happened.
Well,
other than some of the races.
Right, yeah.
The races, the timeline, the technology, the N7, the biotics. All that stuff is there, but we are creating a whole new universe.
What about biotics all the time? In the thing, it had squad members will receive weapons and biotics in the initiative.
Well, I mean training. Yeah, I mean they're going to receive training.
But here's my question: are they all going to have biotic training? Is every character you have going to have biotic training?
Well, okay. Here's the thing: is that they have changed the class system. There's no longer a class system.
Right.
Basically, you can pick.
A tree.
It is there are trees, and you can pick several talents and go as far as you want in that. Now, if you do go as far to specialize in biotics, you will eventually receive a perk that is then your class.
Right. It increases damage with done with bionics by 30, 40, whatever.
You'll receive your perks, and basically, right. if you play and you pretty much make a vanguard,
right,
and it's going to recognize that you made a vanguard.
You know what?
Give you that.
This is going to make a very interesting system, because you won't just have so you got a Sorry Justicar, and you've got this and you've got that. Now you've got you being the Turian that you are. Where you have the warp and
overload. Yeah, so
I love to play with on multiplayer.
Oh, dude, yeah, I definitely rocked that damn Sentinel because I loved having the support. I loved debuffing them and then just weakening them down. I loved being that character because we already for our group we already had the tank.
Yeah.
We already had the light biotic runner. And then that was Matt.
Yeah. I was like, wait.
and then basically you and me kind of served as either kind of support, because either you would run power support or sometimes you would run sniper for fire support.
Well, depending on which one I ran, if I ran my Slayer and Engineer, I was basically every time you put a overload on something, I was energy drained.
Well, I mean, and see the thing is that I could definitely just do that and make that same kind of character, or I could do something completely different.
How's the multiplayer going to play out? Are we going to have
set characters like that?
Set characters like in the old one, or are we going to have one that we can tweak and build and level up just like normal?
I'm trying not to yawn, by the way.
That's okay.
But it's after work and we're just back here chilling, and I'm just I could use a nap.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think we're going to get the one. I think we're actually going to get characters, because the way that they've established how the main campaign can play in a multiplayer is that there are map missions, kind of like how we did on Dragon Age Inquisition, where it's hey, there's a mission over here.
Request fire support.
Do you want to send a team? And basically, when you send a team, you're sending a multiplayer team, and you can link up with friends to go do that.
See, that's neat.
And so that's why I've heard that's going to play out. Now, the Rider family is customizable. You can edit the characteristics of the twins and the father and the siblings. Of the twins, father, and the siblings, you don't choose to play as. Alec Rider, he's the father. He's an N7.
Alec Rider.
The Rider twins are both untested but trained. They are also younger than Shepard was at the beginning of the original Mass Effect game. Mac Walters has confirmed. Gian Garson, founder of the Andromeda Initiative, is not the mother of the Rider twins, as they have debunked. Now, Rider actually, and this is for people who are listening to this that are really deep into Mass Effect lore that haven't heard this already. Rider was with Grissom, John Grissom, all those years ago when they went to the Mass Effect relay. And through the mass relay, why do they call it Mass Effect relay? They went to the mass relay, which started the first contact war, and so Ryder since then, that was in timeline, that was 40 years ago. So now he's an older guy, seasoned soldier, and his kids, well, they're now probably in their 20s, and Ryder's a legend. Alec Ryder, he's a legend, man.
Yeah.
He's up there with Grissom, and now he's ever the trailblazer. He's signed on for this one. Let's keep going further.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because they've actually mentioned in the original Mass Effect that there are still several thousands of systems in the Milky Way that they haven't even explored yet.
Yeah, it's weird that they're already sending out a ship to a new system.
Yeah, but actually, what I think it is that they've mentioned that, okay, so this game is in Andromeda, but it's in the Helios cluster?
Helios cluster, yes.
And they've said that there is a dramatic number of golden worlds, garden worlds, and so there is such a concentration of those that they're looking at setting up inner galaxy relations. So it's there's going to be a section here that is from the Milky Way galaxy And I mean, it's definitely a very like brash thing to do, but also it has a lot on the line, you know.
Right.
And so it's like I can see where they would want to do this, and really like again be those trailblazers to say, you know, we can just go search other systems like we already can do, or we can really go to the into the unknown. So sitting up here, Alec, the father. Alec Ryder's Adventures Pre-Andromeda is a storyline BioWare is still developing for Andromeda and other things, Walter said on Twitter. PB is a nickname for the Asari. Her full name is unknown. Romance options aren't limited by the gender of your character. Loyalty missions are back like in Mass Effect 2, but they are optional. They do not affect the ending of this game.
Like 2. Like Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, like Mass Effect 2. Whereas in that game, you had to get the loyalty of your guys for them to survive and get bonuses. In this one, basically, they're just there to enhance the characters' relationships.
I wonder if it would assist with like combination of powers. Like maybe they get an additional power to utilize with you.
Probably,
maybe something like that.
Well, that's the way they do it in Mass Effect 2. It's like you unlock like a power specialty,
right?
And then you also get to access that specialty.
Right.
Paragon Renegade are gone, but there will still be dialogue with options with different tones. Character classes are different. We've already kind of talked about this. You can reallocate skill points to change your specialization. Combat blends cover-based combat with faster movement. Explorable planets like the desert world Eladen or Eladen feature super bosses and optional missions. Basically,
like Ruby and Emerald.
Well, no, I think what they're going at here is like in the trailer we saw that big mech thing. I think they're going to do these super bosses kind of like they did the dragons in Inquisition, where like you would encounter it, but you might not necessarily be able to defeat it right now, so you have to come back later.
That would be cool.
And so
you get a piece of, because you're looking for tech there.
Yes.
So that's one of your biggest things is to survey and get tech. So I'm sure that's a big tech boost.
Continuing on here with the last bits of information, you can't get married traditionally. Apparently, apparently you can sort of maybe go steady with somebody.
Get it on.
Yeah, SpaceX. There is a new game plus for Andromeda. The game doesn't run natively in 4K and runs at 30 frames per second on some platforms. Quotations. Mass Effect Andromeda is based on a true story. But apparently they don't know what that means at the time. That could be a joke or part of the development team, PR team. There will be some interruptions during action scenes, similar to how there were in previous Mass Effect games to manipulate how a writer acts in a situation. No trilogy crew members in Mass Effect Andromeda. You can play the campaign offline, and you don't need to fuel the Tempest, which is like the Normandy in this game. And then there's no way of communicating with the Milky Way galaxy, at least not in this game. And there is a group similar to the Council that you'll need to report to.
Now here's a question, which isn't, I don't think it's covered in this. Are you going to pick a home world to basically set up shop, kind of like Metal Gear Solid?
Like what you did with Mother Base?
Yeah, where you would pick a Mother Base, and then I'm assuming that this is going to go back to a resource collection, like 1. So you would have to collect resources.
Wait, resources? You mean probing?
Yeah,
that was 2.
2. I'm sorry.
So I kind of think that the Tempest / Hyperion is your home base, and that you're going to be setting up colonies.
Huh.
So then you're going to be able to establish trade within those colonies, and you're going to do missions for those colonies and send people to do stuff. Right. And I kind of feel like when you set up a colony on X planet, that's going to be multiplayer mission where they get attacked. Oh, boop, boop, boop. Just send a team, go fit off the cat. That's multiplayer. So I kind of feel like that's the way it's going to be. In the story trailer, it definitely seemed like I've heard that the Hyperion kind of comes out of its warp or comes into as Star Trek it up there.
I was getting ready to say, which warp speed are we at here?
You're at warp 2.
Warp 1 or warp 2?
Well, I mean, they could go up to warp 10, but that's too fast, man.
It's too fast.
It's a nice slow cruise. Anyway, they kind of come out when they're not supposed to, and it kind of seemed like they might be getting attacked from the get-go, which might explain why the father is gone. Maybe he gets lost. Maybe he gets sucked into space. Maybe he gets captured. Maybe he dies. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. We won't know until the game comes out. Speaking of, when the game comes out, there's more evidence to say when the release date is. Xbox One digital code for the Mass Effect Andromeda Amazon page says 21 March 2016.
Yes, I saw that.
2016. It's already passed.
2016. Well, you know how Amazon is. They do really weird things.
It is. I wonder... March 21st also falls on a Tuesday of that week when most games are released. So hopefully that is true, because that's actually the same date as one of the art books that said it's launching simultaneously.
Which that's supposed to be 16, supposed to be 17, but you know.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that is the case. And the last bit of Mass Effect news that we got for then... Well, no, we got one other one, but I'll save that for a minute. Mass Effect 2 and 3 are now both backwards compatible on the Xbox One. So you can buy them on the store, or you can go and do the much cheaper route and go to like your local disc replay, where it's there. I don't know if you guys have them where you guys are at, but 2 and 3 are like $2 a piece.
Yes.
And Mass Effect 1 is like $8. So literally for $12 you get the entire trilogy, and then you can play it all on the Xbox One. And which is an amazing thing. And I honestly, I really wish that I would have waited to play the trilogy now, because I would have played them all on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
But again, okay, so I also want to say that I don't know.
I have a feeling that you're going to do it anyways.
I don't know. I probably will not replay them again, since I just went through all of that. I went through every little nook and cranny in detail,
right.
And DLC. Took a long time to do. I won't do it unless there's a remaster that comes out, which they are now... Originally they said absolutely no way, and then now they're like, meh. So the last thing I want to talk about is I should have put it in all the stuff, but I forgot and it wasn't in here. The guy who plays the Alec Ryder.
Yeah.
He played in Smallville.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the guy's name. He is Luther's dad.
Yes, they saw that confirmation.
So he has been confirmed as playing Alec Ryder. We don't know the two twins, Scott and Sarah, are voiced by kind of relative newcomers.
One of them is a sci-fi veteran, and I think the girl, I don't know her name, she's kind of new to all of this. So. It's going to be interesting. And
luckily, it doesn't seem like this game is going to be affected by the just more recent video game or voiceover strike.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Briefly. I really didn't dabble into it.
It's basically a strike where what's the Screen Actors Guild / voiceover artists, they want more money. And they weren't able to come up with a deal with some of the companies, and so they went on strike. And now any games that are being in production right now that aren't currently already involved with voice acting and struck a deal, is they have to wait until it is said and done.
Huh.
So hopefully that doesn't cause any significant delays. But
we hope.
Yeah, that's all we got for the Mass Effect stuff. And we're actually at a pretty decent time too on the podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I definitely was looking forward to this. I'm definitely more excited than what I was. Honestly, I'm actually, it's glad to know that my gut was confirmed about when it was going to take place, when it was launching.
Right. Which is what you said right from the get go, because obviously the Normandy was first of its kind.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like the Tempest was based on its design.
I bet it's almost going to be exactly like Navigating.
It might be. I mean, the ships do look similar, and I can definitely see like this is privately funded. So I mean, the Normandy was state of the art. It was made in conjunction with the humans and the Turians, and so this would be like I would think that like all of the all the arcs would have this because the way I kind of see it is that they have different modes for transportations. The arc I think is going to be that was their way to get there.
Right.
That was their big ass hunking ship to get them to the new galaxy, and now for them to go planet to planet, system to system within the cluster, they're going to be using the Tempest, and then when they get on the planet, they're going to be using the Nomad, which is the new version of the tank.
I know the name of it.
What was the damn tank? The Hammerhead was the fucking hover thing. I can't remember the name of the damn tank.
I know it. It's been a while.
I can't remember the name of the damn tank. I fail as a Mass Effect fan.
I know. I can see it. I can see it playing through, and I can see
Hammerhead. It's not Hammerhead because that's the damn.
Orbit to ground, right?
What?
The transport.
Yeah, it's your transport on the ground, dude. They're actually coming out with a remote control version of the Nomad.
Ooh, it's gonna be a.
There's one that is a die-cast metal, and then that's $100. Doesn't include the game. And then for $200 you get the fully. All right, here you go.
Uh-oh.
I was on board until I saw this. So, for I believe it was $200, you get the Hammerhead tank vehicle I can't remember the name of, and then you don't get a controller to control it. You control it via Wi-Fi using your touchscreen on your phone.
Surprise! That's what everything is.
Mm-hmm. God dang it, I can't remember the name of that damn thing.
Look it up. You have the ability.
I know. I was trying to remember Mass Effect tank. Mako.
Mako.
Got the Mako. And see, Hammerhead. Hammerhead's right here. Look at that. Look at it. That's the... Doesn't have any freaking armor. Mass Effect 2, take 3 shots, you're dead. Pretty much. It was pretty bad. Anyway, that's kind of all I have for this episode.
All right.
I mean, I don't really have much else. I mean, I'm excited. Now, we need to discuss when we're going to do the next episode because we do have PlayStation Experience coming up next month and the Game Awards. We can wait till after both of those events have taken place and then do one kind of like, I was thinking maybe we can like not do another episode this month since there's going to be, not a whole lot going on other than Final Fantasy, and that's at the very end of the month. But then
which that day I'm going to invite you over so that we can both experience it together at the same time.
I mean, yeah. I'll
have some brats.
Yeah, come on now.
Just saying, I mean, it'll be perfect weather for it.
Yeah. All right, so what I was thinking, though, is that we can wait until after FF15. We can wait till after the experience, after the award show, and maybe we can do like a super long holiday edition.
We can do that.
Where we shoot. Maybe we'll do like a 2-hour show, and we'll do a review or hands-on review of FF15, what we think, and then we'll go through the award show, who won, who lost, and then we'll look at the PlayStation Experience, what was announced, what they talked about, and then kind of gear up, and we'll talk about, all that stuff. And
next year.
Oh yeah, and we'll talk about what we're looking for next year, and then maybe we'll look at like what were some of the biggest and best games of this year. Skyrim, a game that came out like years ago now. Yeah,
I bet it will be. It has to be up there. It's one of the top remakes because it's just awesome.
I mean, I'm definitely not going to put it down. But
I will say a negative thing to it. They did not fix everything. They some of the stuff that glitches out, like when you do a quest, specifically for the college. There's a portion of the college where you get up to where you're supposed to go through the Dormir ruins, and the lady will literally vanish off of the college, and she's literally in an area that you can never get to. and you never can finish that quest line again. You have to restart the entire thing. And I don't know why. And there's multiple things, like to not become a vampire, to basically reverse vampirism. The wizard has a chance to glitch, so you have to save it before you actually walk up to him, because I guess it's in the way that you approach him. So they didn't fix all the glitches. They pretty much said it's pretty.
Well, it. There you go. Would you say that is your recommendation for the month?
Well, I can't really recommend it because most people that bought it already had it before. So I didn't really have a recommendation this week. But I still say that I'll think of one. You go first. I have to think now.
Mine's very simple. I'm just going to recommend the entire Mass Effect trilogy because now it's all available on the Xbox One. So for people who have got rid of their 360s or PS3s and they have an Xbox One, you can play it there. It's very simple and it's very cheap to go buy them. They're very cheap used. You can buy the trilogy pack. I will say this. I'm not sure about the DLC. So if you already own the DLC, the Xbox One, I know that when I played South Park on there, a DLC I had for it was on there, but I can't say that all the Mass Effect DLC will be on there. What I will tell you is that the PS3 version, Mass Effect 2 comes with a lot of the DLC that came out for that game, and so you're getting Lair of the Shadow Broker and you're getting Overlord, which two really great pieces of DLC. And Mass Effect 1, I believe, comes with Bring Down the Sky. Mass Effect 3 comes with no DLC whatsoever, other than, I do believe, From Ashes, but don't quote me on that. And I believe that the trilogy on the 360 are just the stock games that came out. There's no extra anything with them.
Huh.
So, however you choose to play it, it's also on PC for that as well. So, but however you choose to play it, I hope you get it and enjoy it. And then, as I said, I guess I should note that if you choose PS3, just go ahead and get the trilogy pack.
Yes.
Because that's the only way that you get a physical version of Mass Effect 1. You can get the physical versions of 2 and 3 separate, but 1 was never released on PS3 until the trilogy pack came out. And they never did release a single version of that game in America. I believe they did one for Europe, but that's the whole importing thing. You can get the damn game.
Get the damn game.
Yeah, I ended up. Hey, I just rolled with it. You can get the game digitally for like $15, but again, we're going for cheap value here. Old console games are not necessarily, all that expensive right now, and they're kind of going down. And then, as I said, I just looked the other day. Mass Effect 2 is $2. Mass Effect 3 is $2. Mass Effect 8. Mass Effect is $8. Mass Effect 1 is $8. So
when did 8 come out?
for $12 and change, you get the entire trilogy on the Xbox.
Yeah.
So then I guarantee you, if you buy the games digitally on the Xbox One store, they're going to be more than that. So do you have one?
I do, and it is the game that I'm currently looking for because I want to beat it all the way because I never beat it because it was too hard. Legend of the Dragoon.
Legend of Dragoon.
Come on, remake or a new story.
Yeah, I believe you can get that on the Vita. You can download it.
Huh?
It's a PS Classic on the Vita.
Oh, it's a classic download. Yeah, I want the physical copy.
I understand that, but if you're really aching to play it, you have access to it. It's only $10.
I know, but I also need to finish 8, and I need to restart 9 since I lost all my data because...
He means Final Fantasy, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, because you lost the PSP Go that I sold you.
Not even that I lost. I already lost all the data because I decided that it would be a great idea to never shut it off because it has the standby mode. And I didn't play it for a couple of days in the car, and I picked it back up, and I was like, ooh, I want to play this. It's dead. I charge it. Oh, by the way, you're 40 hours back. Oh.
I kind of did that recently with Persona 4, although I'm pretty sure that I'm not 4 hours back. I'm pretty sure I'm just like 20 minutes.
40.
Oh, 40.
I'm 40.
Ouch.
All my grinding, I had pretty much all the abilities. I had the Blue Mage. I can't remember his name. frog or
Quina,
something weird. I had almost all of his abilities because he's one of the most powerful ones if you get all of his abilities.
Yeah.
Most versatile. Definitely the most versatile.
9's great. I absolutely love 9. But you know what? We're just sitting here rambling. I think I've got nothing else to talk about.
I don't either.
Great episode. I'm really super excited for Mass Effect Andromeda. I am super excited to read or do audiobooks for any of the books that are coming out to get kind of like some background about this new
15 is what I'm excited for.
Yeah, I'm excited for 15
I've watched
as well.
all the gameplay, hours and hours of it, and I'm just like, oh, let me in it.
Chomping at the bit.
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
I'm hoping that it stays good.
Well, you know what? I mean, and we did a very good job in this episode of steering clear of the very big event that happened yesterday.
Yes.
And all I'm going to say, all that I will say about that is no matter what your politics are, I'm just going to say this. Andromeda sounds like a good place to be right now. And I can't wait to get there.
I mean, I'm not going to count him out. I'm really not. I pray. I don't pray. But my fingers are crossed. Hopefully he does good.
I just want to go to Andromeda.
I would love to. I would be with you, but I don't know about 600 years in cryo sleep.
No, it wouldn't be that bad.
I mean, out a little chilly.
It would be a little, yeah. It would be a little chilly. But with that being said, thank you guys for checking out this episode. Be sure to check out all the other podcasts we have here on the YouTube channel. And, of course, check out Journey to
We got other YouTube channels?
Right here on the YouTube channel. We got other podcasts.
Well, I didn't know that.
Why didn't you know that?
I don't know. It didn't show up on my screen.
You didn't? Well, okay, because we got Journey to Comics, Journey to Wrestling, Game Addicts, and Foodies Watching Movies right here on the YouTube channel. And then if you go onto your phone, on your iPhone or on your Android phone, Journey to Comics is available on your phone. And sometimes these other podcasts make appearances on there. But all the podcasts are on the YouTube channel. You can just go, there's a little playlist and go, I'm going to listen to this one and just go all the way through while you're cleaning your house or you're changing your baby or whatever you're doing with your life.
Well, that's definitely American.
Thank you for listening to this show, and maybe one day we'll explain the accent. But that being said, I'm Brando.
And I'm Mike.
We will see you later.